There are three types of spies. First, we have the gun spy, the weird spy who only uses his gun because he's a special snowflake.
Oh hey, he can't see me, I wonder what I should do.
Fuck this game, it's so bullshit, I hate it.
Second, we have the knife spy, otherwise known as the common spy. He realizes that the knife is capable of one-shotting, so that's why he exclusively uses it.
He can't see me, backstab. He can't see me, backstab. He can't see me. Wait.
And then we have
the 200 IQ spy knows how and when to use both. To become one is to truly become a
Okay, so spy has two damaging weapons, the knife and the revolver. A lot of newer spies underestimate how useful the revolver is, blinded by the fact that the knife is capable of instantly killing, with only two exceptions. But let me tell you this, the knife only instantly kills when you get a player in the back, and if said player already knows you're there, well, they are going to be looking at you.
Gentle trick stabs!
You realize how inconsistent trick stabs are, right? I mean, they do work at times, and when they do, they are amazing, but a trick stab is about tricking the enemy into exposing their back. But some players just won't fall for it, or won't get within melee range of you. Instead, they will keep their distance and use ranged weapons to damage you. Even in this live stream highlight I show here, the first reaction I had when getting spotted was to pull out my revolver and shoot the player. Then I went for a stab when I realized that the demo knight was going to get close enough to me. Or how about this clip where I try go for a sap and stab here? It doesn't work, so I butt a knife, but realize that won't work, so I back off and use my revolver. Don't fucking put on the mindset of a free-to-play pyro and WM1 them with the knife. Actually use your gun. Even in close range situations where people do pull out their melee, sometimes it's safer to get out of range and pull out the revolver when they don't expect it. Also, if a pyro tries to WM1 you from a distance, gun them down while walking backwards and make them look stupid.
Release the brainstorm to make the motherfucking brain warm.
This is the meta revolver and literally every spy main uses it because it is the best one. Oh. Jungle Inferno happened. Now, I do kind of question the nerf on this gun because I don't really see it being overpowered just because of how hard it is to use at long range, but I still think it's okay. It's still pretty good at close range combat with light classes and it can scare people off in some cases, but this gun isn't what it used to be. But it's still the best counter to the Razorback. This is my most used revolver after the Jungle Inferno update hit. In fact, my most used loadout these days is just straight stock. This thing is consistent and an all-rounder, a gun that I would recommend to new players, as well as the L'Étranger, and yes, that's how it's pronounced, thanks Google,
L'Étranger,
is a utility gun. And I would recommend this to new players that haven't yet learned to use their revolvers as much as they should. If you aren't going to use the revolver very much, might as well equip this for the passive bonus it gives you of 40% extra cloak duration, which can really help. You also regain 50% of your cloak if you hit an enemy with this gun, which could save you in a pinch but doesn't come into play very often from my experience. When pairing this gun with the cloak and dagger, you can become a terrifying, paranoia-inducing killer, especially with the Your Eternal Rewards. Well, before it got nerfed. Don't use this. Just don't. This weapon comes from the depths of hell and somehow hasn't been nerfed after all these years. It gives Spy free crits for performing the basic functions of his class, backstabbing and sapping. And for what penalty? 15% damage penalty and no random crits. Seeing how often you'll have crits, the 15% damage penalty pretty much doesn't matter, and the no random crit stat is just a complete joke. Not just on this weapon, but on any weapon. It's a terrible balancing point, which is why this weapon is banned in UGC. Okay, this is a weird one. Its stat of piercing all resistances means that this weapon bypasses all kinds of damage resistance, not including stock Uber. This means that vaccinated Ubers do jack shit to stop this gun, making Spy an even bigger hard counter to the vaccinator than he already is. It also has a stat of doing more damage while disguised. Cool, I guess. And its downside is a 15% fire rate penalty. Its main upside actually used to not work properly against most resistances, but the Blue Moon update fixed it. It's an okay weapon now that its main upside works, but not too sure whether it comes into play very often. Okay, weapon I guess. And that's the video. Thanks guys for watching and hope you enjoyed. Actually, this isn't scripted. I just realized that only 2 out of the 5 spy revolvers are actually capable of random crits. Wow, okay, that's interesting. If you like my content, maybe consider checking me out on other places such as Twitch where I livestream, my Twitter, and community Discord server where you can talk to me. Now that I have blessed you with my 200 IQ, my job here is done.